All right. You know what it is because you probably clicked on the episode or you're just driving a truck. But you're on Argue This with Derek,
Yo.
with Tron,
Yo.
and with me, Alex. Today we're, just to start off on the right foot. Me personally, I fully support the military, and that's what we're gonna be arguing today. I don't know about these other two guys. You support the military? Their silence is deafening.
Maybe. I saw you look at Derek, so I was waiting.
Sorry, I'm just watching this crazy video. Yeah, I mean, I'm in support of the military. I'm not always in support of war, but I support the people in the military for sure.
All right. Yeah.
I think that it's nice to know that we have something protecting our country and stuff like that. Do I necessarily think that we should have done what we've been doing the last 20 years? That's my own opinion.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to get too deep into that, but that way, the people are like, they don't love the military. Yeah, no, we fully support the fucking military.
Pro soldier for sure. Definitely, maybe not most pro-war, but definitely pro-soldier.
Yeah, not like, yeah. But if you're in the military, thank you for your service and all that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and if that offends you, I am so glad. So let's jump right in. Do you guys think that there should be a mandatory military service like other countries have?
I think that if you don't, remember when we referenced like the college thing? Like if you don't go to a college or a trade school, there should be something else available for you.
Yeah.
And I think that this should be like a hard third option is like, hey man, if you're just going to putz around and go work at a Denny's, like, hey, we got something that might be able to show you something that you like for doing in the military that can get you to school. You know what I mean? Like, reference a friend of mine, did not know what he wanted to do in life. Spent 8 years in the military, and now he's a electric engineer. You know what I mean? Because he worked on electrical stuff and then through the military's training. So now he went into school because he really enjoyed that. And now he's owned his own electrical company and does all kinds of really cool electrical engineering stuff. So
yeah, that GI Bill is fucking what's up.
Yeah. So like I think in a sense, like not necessarily forced to, in a sense, where like when you turn 18 you have to go do service. I mean, it's a good idea to keep kids off the streets. It's a good idea for them to feel a legitimate job, blah, 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 be part of something, fight for your country and all that stuff, But I think if you have a plan to go into college or have a plan to do other things, you should be able to do that and not be forced to put your dreams on hold because you're required to serve the military. I
mean, Elvis Presley.
Yeah, I mean,
at the height of his fucking fame.
Yep, Muhammad Ali. He was a draft dodger. He didn't go out. He didn't go to war. He was the best boxer in the world at one point in time, arguably the best ever. You know what I mean? And he didn't go. Yeah,
but Elvis did.
Yeah, I mean, and so it is one of those things where it's just but that was also one of those times where it's a different age now.
I mean, like Vietnam was a different animal.
Yes.
People came back and they got spit on. And it's like, dude, we were forced to go over there.
Yeah, we didn't want to be over there.
But it's like,
tell me a bunch of white dudes want to go sit in a jungle in 90-degree heat in the middle of some country they've never probably even heard of.
Yeah, and then hack kids apart with a shovel. It's like, yeah.
So this is just being real. When you say that they came back and got spit on, are you talking about right off the plane?
Right off the boat, yes.
That's not real. Let's just use logic in this real quick, right? The military, when they come back, are they landing on a civilian base or are they landing on a U.S. base?
Okay, so maybe it might have taken a day.
I just want to point that out because that's why I asked specific questions.
Well, back then, sometimes depending on the unit and who was coming home, they would let the families meet them on the tarmac.
Right, but then it had to be families. They had to have military back or credentials to pass through that.
Yeah.
There's no way Vietnam protesters got those credentials to pass on that and then spit on them on the military base. So yes, they
Well,
might
they
have
didn't
got
have the
spit on.
internet to
Yes, they might
check.
have got spit on like on protests or when they're out in public and stuff. But like I'm not trying to argue like semantics.
Well, that's
But-
what the name of this podcast is, Argue. I like this. This is great. But I mean, like, I have definitely seen military people in a public airport, going home for the holidays. And when it was all over, I'm sure there was a whole shitload of fucking people coming back. So they couldn't just ship everyone to the military bases. And people wanted to get the fuck home. They were pushing fucking helicopters into the fucking ocean just to make more room on the boats.
They were. I'll give you that.
So to say that some of them didn't dock at a civilian dock, I mean this is something we can look up right now. Did Vietnam soldiers land at civilian docks? Not dogs, docks, you idiot.
This guy quit.
Well, the game was over. Yeah, he can't stop Niv. Especially with the 204s hanging out with him, too. That game's over.
Yep. Poor guy.
Is what it is.
He tried so hard.
Vietnam War soldiers coming home. History.com. Why Vietnam War vets were treated poorly when they returned home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unpopular...
No. I never said they were treated them poorly. Never said that we didn't treat them bad. I just wanted, when we're on this podcast of Argue This, for our one listener, want to state facts.
Actually, this is our most popular podcast for whatever reason.
2 listeners.
Yeah. Actually, I think we have like 25 listeners to like 50 listeners. It's great.
Boom.
I don't know why. Thank you all for listening to my podcast.
We really appreciate it.
I'm never going to put ads on this. I pay for it, whatever. It's a hobby. You're never going to hear, this episode is brought to you by blah, blah, blah. I don't care.
By Alex's public account.
Unless, like, someone comes to me and is like, hey, we're going to pay you $10,000 to run 10 ads. I'll be like, okay, dignity gone.
It's like veterans of the Vietnam Foreign War who were spit on.
But yeah, I mean, so they would come home and be walking down the street.
Well, so, okay. So to the original question, right? I do think that every person, man and woman, should... Man, woman, LGBTQ should
Every person, just say
Yeah.
that.
should serve 2 years in the military. From 18 to 20. Boom.
18 to 20, and then they...
Yep.
I mean, like, I honestly feel like this will give people some discipline, some manners.
Check it out. I think, in all honesty, if I was an authoritarian, which I'm not, but if I was, I would have everyone work in the service industry from 16 to 18, and then go to the military from 18 to 20.
Okay,
and then
Kim
you could-
Jong-un.
and then you could be a society.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that would make it so when you go to a Denny's, you're not like, this is cold. It's like, ma'am, it was ice cream. It's supposed to be cold. I demand fried ice cream, and it better be hot. It's like, ma'am, it will melt if we do that.
I just gotta say though, like, I think if everyone did that, I think everyone would be somewhat nicer.
I mean, like, you can always tell, like, I mean, yeah, you both have worked in the service industry. When someone, comes in and is a little bit just nicer or more understanding, they've actually worked in the service industry and they know what it's like to work for tips.
They developed empathy.
I've also met assholes that worked in the service industry and came in. And
I'm becoming one of those assholes, unfortunately.
yeah, see,
I don't like that I am.
I'm glad that you could admit it yourself.
I'm not happy this is happening because like I'm not patient about anything.
Okay, Kyle, not our friend Kyle. But
Yeah.
okay, Kyle.
But like I'm not patient about like if I have to wait more than 15 minutes, I'm probably coming back. I'm probably like, I'm just gonna go do something and then come back and not wait 15 minutes.
If I see a lot, if I see like the foyer like is full, I'm like, I'm not.
But then when you fuck up my order, especially if it's in a sit down restaurant, if I'm at a bar and you fuck up my order while I'm sitting at your bar, I'm gonna be fucking pissed because I've worked. You've seen me work bars, some busy ass places, and nailed it and crushed it all night long, and not forgot a single order. Not
I just think this is becoming a class thing now. After Derek's made enough money to be out of like working on this.
Nah, I don't make that much money. I don't make that much money, but it's definitely one of those things where now I have an intolerance to the service industry. Like I have zero patience for people.
Like wait till you're off work to do your drugs. Like they all do drugs.
Or like if I see a dude like he's on his cell phone when my beer's empty, I'm like, brother, come on, man. That click up the Facebook stream is not as important as it is to get my beer so I can give you a $6 tip.
I mean, like I've been to Denny's twice, in the past like month, because I enjoy their food, not bad food, but their service, like the service lady in like the area that I normally get sat at,
Awful.
horrible.
Time out. Have you seen the average crowd that goes to Denny's?
It's half capacity.
No. I understand we're not even talking capacity. We're talking the type of people at Denny's.
Literally, I
there
can
are
see
so many people that
it's Denny's and Cortez.
I don't know about Denny's and Cortez, but there's so many Denny's that I've been in that like they do not tip their servers. They just don't. And it doesn't matter about the service.
Like the first time I went, I tipped $15.
Denny's and Applebee's are notorious for bad, like,
Yeah, it's just
customers.
low quality chains.
And then the second
It's unfortunate.
But-
it's unfortunate for people that go in there and want just breakfast food at a decent price that are going to tip. Like my food's normally $9. Here's your $20 bill if you don't fuck things up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind spending $20 on a meal. I went out to eat. I expect to spend $20 on a meal.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that Denny's person is going to get the ultimate hookup if they just do their job and get my order right. The food comes out hot and my drink doesn't have to be empty.
Like last time I went to Denny's, I'm like literally trying I'm like, hey, and like walking right by me. I'm like, excuse me, ignoring me. But I'm like, I've been here twice. Last time I tipped you $15 on a $50 order, and you're gonna treat me like shit. Like what's going on here?
Okay, so that type I could understand you being upset.
No, the food was good,
But,
like
like-
there's nothing wrong with the food at all.
And it's tough, like when you're trying being servers and stuff like that, to talk about the service industry, because like that person could be having a bad day. That person could have been so busy with their other tables that they just didn't have time to get to you.
Literally 6 tables.
Yeah,
in her entire area.
Yeah, but they could have been like, it could have been one of those things where they knew last time you were in that you were patient and they could get to you, and they made you very happy regardless of how fast things got to. There's a lot of things that go into play in the restaurant industry and why things happen. You know what I mean? And so I understand that, and I understand the frustration. But like I said, I go back to Oscar Blues for events now because I have to. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what has my staff turned into? I'm like, these motherfuckers.
No, like literally.
I'm just like, what the world?
Like last time I was at Denny's, a half an hour, 30 minutes. I'm like trying to I'm like, hey, can I get a to-go box for this food? Can I,
And it's also right now there are really bad people working in the industry right now because everyone's trying to collect and do stuff with the unemployment. Like I have friends that are literally, and I hate to say this, I hate even calling them my friends because I hate that they're doing this. They're literally just going to job interviews and then writing down on their unemployment that they're going to try to find jobs and they can't get hired.
Where do your friends normally work?
Restaurants and stuff.
So, because this is what I wanted to bring or have a conversation about. No, because I want to have a conversation.
This is
about
crazy
it.
thing.
Go ahead.
Well, no. So let me tell you another story. So I have a friend that works. So he works 22 to 27 hours a week in a restaurant, right?
Uh-huh.
But he makes just enough if he doesn't claim his cash that he can keep claiming unemployment, right?
Uh-huh.
So he's collecting full unemployment while still making his regular. He's back to his regular hours.
I mean,
So it's fraud. It's like he's committing fraud. And like the unemployment service, so like I know this boss. The boss reached out. Unemployment service goes, "Sorry, we know this is going on, but we're too busy to deal with it." That's literally the response they got back from him. So his boss has to keep giving him the unemployment. Is that insanity? Like, and I understand there's some people that really need this, and some people that have lost their jobs and are in a terrible way. You know what I mean? But like the fact that I hear stories of people doing this kind of shit and like manipulating it, it's like this is.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Like half of me, that shit burns me up. I'm like, dude, get a real fucking job. It's not that hard.
Yeah, just don't sit in your don't be lazy.
Yeah, like literally, my job is hiring.
Yeah.
Right now, like if you want to drive a truck and make fucking shitloads of money and go sleep in a fucking suite, and drive for fucking hour, it's great. You don't have to do shit. You roll a tire. Ooh, not hard.
Yeah, I mean my one friend literally can't keep a kitchen staff together at his restaurant because of the fact that nobody wants to work right now.
But on the other half,
I have a different viewpoint on this. No one wants to work right now.
But
Go ahead.
But
I want to let both of y'all finish. So whenever y'all are done, I'm going to say what I have.
But my other half is like, okay, good. At least some poor Americans are getting
taken care of. I'm absolutely all about. I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I'm like
for that.
I'm like even if they're fucking gaming
my 25 to 30-year-old physically and mentally capable male and female friends that are just sitting on their asses being lazy, I'm not happy about that.
I mean,
now I have friends too that have literally could not go back to work because their business closed. Like they worked at a kitchen diner, like a breakfast diner downtown, and they shut up shop. So they didn't have a job. So they needed this unemployment and stuff like that. So I have.
Well, I mean, even for like the people like your friend that's like collecting unemployment and has a job, good. At least I know where my fucking taxes are going, and they're going towards people that don't have money. Because you'll look at like these giant businesses and it's like, oh yeah, they got a $22 million PPE loan. And it's like, and then they didn't fucking pay anybody and they fucking laid everyone off. I'm like, what about that shit?
Nope.
I'm like, I don't care about the people that are nickel and diamond this shit, but why doesn't, fucking Bill Gates come in and, offer some help? Why doesn't, fucking Jeff Bezos come in and offer some fucking help? These people are so fucking rich. There's a website called Spend Bill Gates' Money, and it's stupid. You're like, 80 fucking Lambos? Yeah, let's go for it. A fucking space station? Let's go for it. Let's buy the entire NFL.
Yep. That's crazy too to think about that.
So yeah, I don't care about, some of these fucking, poor people. I was one of those, or still am kind of one of those poor people that doesn't have a lot of money. And it's like, dude, if you can get a single leg up and, get like what, 10,000 extra dollars, fuck it, let them, they're going to spend it and, stimulate the economy.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
So Tron, what were you going to say?
So we talk about that nobody wants to work and they get paid more not working, right? Well, don't we live in a capitalist society? Don't we live in a free market? So if you want to have people come back to serve people under shitty circumstances without any benefits, if you want people to deal with shitty people, or if you don't even want to feed your employees, right? Pay them more than $213. Otherwise, there is no real reason to come back to work under those circumstances. Let's also talk about flipping burgers and stuff while we're at that. So $7.25 or whatever the minimum wage is, depending where you're at. That's not good enough for everyone to come back to work for. But again, what type of work are you paying them for? If this is a competitive market, then the market has spoken that they do not want to work under those circumstances.
Or what you can do is rent control. You make it to where, rent cannot be more than, 50% of what you make. 50% of the median of that area, of the average person. So you take like, all the people in that area, you cut out like the top 10 and the bottom 10%, and then just do that average, because obviously there's gonna be people that, make billions of dollars or whatever. If Jeff Bezos lives in your neighborhood, then you're fucked.
It's true.
You know, cut off the top 10, the bottom 10, that median, and then 50% of whatever that median is what rent is capped at in that area.
Yeah.
So some people with better jobs, rent is easy for them. Some people with, you know, lower jobs, they can still afford rent.
Yeah.
Now, if you have like a 5-bedroom house, then guess what? You can, you know, charge it for, you know, an average of 3 people or whatever.
Yeah. No, and Tron, I don't disagree with your points too. I think that some of the places that people aren't going back to work to were under shitty circumstances, and I think this is a good time to make a stand too, because they're already getting bailed out. There's already money available. Obviously, the government's making moves to keep the economy going and our civilization as the USA like moving forward with all this extra money elsewhere. So I think it is a discussion that has needed to be had for a very, very long time. And with my job, I go to a lot of these restaurants and places that are struggling because to keep people staffed up. So I can see the conditions people are working in, you know, and people under this, you know, this 50% capacity at restaurants and stuff it's one of those things where people think they can still run with half a staff. They don't realize that just because you're at 50% capacity doesn't mean that you're going to be able to run with 50% of your staff. You know, you still need your full staff to run a restaurant regardless. And I think that business owners are trying to not only make as much money as they possibly can because they lost that much money during the shutdown, you know, but they also see it as a way that they can hopefully, you know, make more money right now because of the shutdown by not having as much staff on. And I don't think that's good business, personal opinion. So I definitely agree with you on where you're coming from and what you're saying, because there are some really big things that need to be changed in the restaurant industry in places like McDonald's and Burger King to get them a more competitive wage in a sense, you know. But I will say this: servers are not making $2.13. I know it's been a while since you served, but they're getting a little bit more of a legitimate wage now. So don't think that we're still making $2 an hour, because they're not. So I'm not. And this is more of just you knowing that they're getting paid more than $2, not knocking what you're saying about servers.
It's
that little.
$5 now, Tron.
Yeah, it's like a couple of dollars more. I just want you to know that. I don't want you to think.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because when I left bartending Oscar Blues, I was up around 7 something.
Right, but that's also like,
But that's But I'm in Colorado. We're in Colorado.
right.
So I don't know where it is across the board, but I know even when I left Pennsylvania, we were moving to over $3 when I was leaving in 2012.
So not our friend that we all know, not Blaine, but we have I have another friend that works in the service industry at Applebee's and still $2.13.
In this state?
No, in Colorado or in Texas.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Texas, you know.
Because that should have been, because that moves with the minimum wage. So it should have been moved with.
Well, tell them to look it up, and
federal minimum
then
wage.
if something's wrong or something's fucky, then guess what? You can, you know, do a wage claim and get your money.
Yeah.
True.
And if they try and fire you over it, then you
But
get
it's-
even more money. It's stupid.
Yeah, it moves not as much as the minimum wage has moved recently, but it moves directly with the minimum wage. It goes,
Right.
Yeah. That's wild. Can't imagine making that little.
Well, pulling it all, you know, back to
Military.
Military. So Tron says no, or Tron says mandatory military service. Derek says no. I say yeah. Should the military be able to sell their surplus materials, their tanks, their guns, you know, their
No. Go ahead, finish.
The gear, yes. You know,
Ooh.
like
No,
like
I like the.
like boots. You know, fatigues. You know,
Well, yeah, you can go to a
backpacks.
surplus store and buy all that. But
Stuff like that.
I'm talking about like their 40mm cannons to shoot tear gas, their tanks to like SWAT.
If they're selling them in this country to our own like police forces and stuff like that, I don't know why we would need certain things as big as the military uses, like anti-tank weapons. We never need to use anti-tank weapons in this country, hopefully. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, there was a big ass fucking bank robbery where like
they drove an armored truck through the front door or something like that, right?
No, like they were just all fucking armored up, all Kevlared up, and they robbed a bank.
Well, you can buy Kevlar as a civilian, so you can't really stop.
oh
that,
no,
you
like
know?
like they had like
Don't
full
think you
like
should have that either. But continue. 'Cause
I mean, it's just
have a
well,
response.
Kevlar.
I think it was like in California.
It was. It was the movie based off of Heat. Like that's what Heat based the movie off, or the movie.
Was based off that heist.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it's,
One day I'll get there. if you have the meme with like,
Yeah, you know what I was talking
first
about.
half.
But yeah, like
So big things. Obviously, you shouldn't sell rocket launchers. Obviously, you shouldn't sell. You know, like I could totally see you selling a plane with no weapons on it. Like who wouldn't want to fly an F-18 if you could fly an F-18? You know what I mean? Like that would be dope. But and like I could totally see you selling a tank to a tank collector without any ammo. You know what I mean?
you can buy tanks in this country.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know a guy that collects fire trucks. So obviously, there's a tank collector in the world. You know what I mean?
There's a tank collector down the street.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand those.
We got
things.
Dragon Mans here.
That's true. I would definitely like say no to ammunition or anything that explodes or creates a, major issue with
Oh yeah, like
future
the,
weaponry in civilian hands. But
yeah, like the slap rounds and all that dumb
yeah,
shit.
stuff that we don't need. You know what I mean? Sure, but like if you're selling a tank with no ammunition to a collector,
no,
by
I'm
all means,
saying-
make your $80,000, government. You know, what I mean?
Well, I mean, technically, we're the ones that paid for that. So now they're taking, our money that we paid the military to, and then they're taking their money and like doubling. I'm like, dude,
double dip.
Hey,
I'm like, honestly, if you're gonna, sell it to police officers, give it to them for free.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that either. I think that's a great idea.
I mean, like, obviously don't give them all fucking tanks.
I mean,
But-
it's unfortunately this country has some things that obviously don't always shine the best light on certain things.
I mean, but how cool would it be? Like, if it's like, rogue police officer blew up 7 cars with a tank today. It's like, you know what?
I mean,
That's kinda
I've
cool.
driven a tank, and it is electric and so much fun. You can hit a ramp at 20 miles an hour, and
It's not my phone.
It's my phone.
That's still vibrating the table.
It's
Oh, okay.
coming on my tablet too.
No, that's cool. I was just like, I don't understand what's going on.
What's going on? Yeah, I'll talk to him later.
I think maybe then, like, if they're selling those supplies and double dipping, they should immediately put that money into charity, like the veteran funds. I mean,
Sorry.
obviously it's not going to happen. I know this, but that's what should be that money.
I
should be
mean,
used-
like, if anybody's going to donate to charity, it'd be like the military.
I'm saying, well, it should be just like straight into veterans funds or stuff for veterans coming.
I
from
mean, like,
PTSD
support
research.
like these old like Vietnam vets.
Yes, that's what the money. You can sell all your shit, but you're not getting that money for your own good. That's going to your funds.
Yeah, that should go straight into the VA
Yes.
and have everyone in the VA
Yep.
taken care of no matter what. If you got injured, 100% you should get taken care of
Yeah, everything.
for the rest of your fucking life. Does not matter.
I knew this was going to be a good one. Yes, nailed it. Tron, what do you have to say?
All right. So,
Tron's like, gets all excited.
yeah, because I've been patiently waiting, Just want to be nice and let everyone say what they have to say. I do not think that military should sell their surplus, whether or not to collectors or whatnot. I mean, so yes, they should set aside a percentage of it, I guess. So when I'm talking a percentage, let's say 10%, right? 10% of all things ever built by the military could be stripped down and sold to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that 10%, there's how should I put this? Beyond that 10%, everything else should be melted down and recycled and reused. All the metal and stuff, everything should just be
Sure,
reused.
I think that's a great idea.
I do not think that with selling to our civilian police that we need to sell military gear. Maybe personnel carriers. Again, I don't know why I can't speak.
APCs.
But yeah, maybe that.
I mean, going into gang territory, APCs could be really useful.
But like, if we can't, as a military, use tear gas, we should not be using tear gas on civilians. So we shouldn't be selling that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
We're talking military surplus. That's
Yeah.
where some of that comes
Just
from.
shoot
And then-
shampoo at them.
And then if we're talking about like we are fucking what's it
Yeah,
called?
I got no problem with like boots. Like giving the boots away. Give the kids in Africa.
Okay, I'll give the boots. I'll give
Why
the,
not? All
Hold
that
on,
stuff,
wait.
you know what I
I'll
mean?
give the boots away, but I'm talking military hardware.
Yeah, no.
No
Hardware
gun-
should
the guns should be
yeah.
melted down. Again, there should be a percentage of all everything because like
stuff that needs to go into museums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and then if I could afford it, dude, it would be so cool to own a World War II fighter plane.
Yeah,
it would be
I
so
mean,
cool to own.
I mean, it'd
But
be
again,
cool to like
I
have like an
the
M1
idea
Grand.
of still let them sell, but that they're forced to get rid of the proceeds.
Right.
Like that would be the most ideal. I mean, imagine how great benefits would be in the VA if that should happen. It'd be crazy. It'd be like having like the nicest hospitals all over the country.
So I think if we invested in our own infrastructure for recycling and other stuff, it would be a better cost efficient in 10 years or so for
sure.
us to go ahead and recycle our own military hardware instead of selling it and then buying
well, not even that, just
new ones.
recycling anything. At that
Well-
point,
well,
if you invest that much into it, think about like you could literally take your whole fridge and recycle it, not just parts of your fridge. You could take everything about your fridge. You know what I mean? Like you could take everything about your air conditioner. I mean, there's literally a piece.
Well, I think it would just also cut down on like building an aircraft.
Yeah.
Like so aircraft buying our Raptors, they're what, 22 million?
ish 32, I thought.
So, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's cheap. Oh, I'm gonna go buy 2 of them.
So if we could recycle that material instead of purchase it all and stuff, then yeah. And all our military hardware is to the lowest bidder anyways.
Yep.
So
Listen here, if Elon Musk can start landing rockets back on this planet after touring the space, we can figure out a way to recycle our metal that's been used overseas. Okay,
I mean, you just go down to Florida and find all the old rocket holes.
for real.
They're all down there.
Yeah.
I mean-
it's one of those things where like you look at it at first, it's like, yeah, why can't they sell their military surplus? And they're like, wait a second, we fund the military. Where's that money going? You know what I mean? Like,
well, also if you want to get to it in like a different analysis, if we sell all our surplus, right? Let's just say we sell literally 50% of our surplus, right? We're funding most of the war still. Like we are contributing to it. I thought America wants to be the police.
We're forced to.
If we take away all their toys and we have all the toys, and I'm not even like I said, a utilitarian or any authoritarian or any of that. So, but like if we keep all of it and not sell it over, then we have a monopoly over it as well. So there's just a lot of pluses on that.
Well, I mean, and then on top of selling it back to ourselves, what about selling our military surplus to allied countries?
Nope.
I think we should be able to sell or help them with their what's it called, development. And like we could, instead of selling an M16, we could be like, you give us this much money and we'll give you the blueprints to make the M16 yourself.
I mean, they know how to
Even
make an
more dangerous 'cause
M16.
you
It's
don't know
not.
who they're allies with.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, like Japan or something like that.
Nope.
What? It was just one thing, and it was.
And I'm
it
not
was
talking
Pearl
about
Harbor.
I'm not talking about all our stuff too, Terry.
Arizona sucked
I mean,
anyway.
listen, ask people in Bosnia. They're still finding guns that we sold them over there. And
No,
shit like
that's
that.
true.
Like, there's
Well, I'm sure that's like underground type
and that's
shit.
the part too, is like the other thing besides them still finding shit like that, they're still finding World War One munitions and landmines and stuff. So like again, us selling our stuff isn't.
Yeah.
Continue though.
I mean, like Vietnam, like that's a business over there as they go and look for landmines. So you'll find a bunch of children missing limbs.
Yeah. You know, so like it's just one of those things where like if we're not, I would go as far as if you're gonna sell it, keep it in home, because at least we know where the fuck it is. If you get it once it leaves this country, see ya.
But
Oh
we-
man!
so,
But-
like,
but
when
we
you
sell
see
guns.
when you see SKU 136782967, yeah, man, that went missing like 3 months ago. What do you mean? a dead nuclear warhead went missing. Yeah, man. Sorry, we had it in the
Oh,
warehouse.
don't sell them nukes, obviously.
Hey.
But I'm talking
Hey,
about
that
like
missile launcher that has 8 rockets in it, gone. What do you mean it's gone? Johnny said it was in the parking lot, but look, the fence has been cut. What do you mean the fence has been cut? Well, we don't know. It happened 3 days ago. What do you mean? We were on holiday. What do you mean you're on holiday? What happened? We wanted to look at this and bring it back. Like, unless
I'm talking like more like APCs.
No.
And just nothing. You're just like you don't even get a bullet.
Nope. If they can't fund their own military, then we need to start talking about other things before we help them fund their military. We need to figure out what's wrong with your country if you can't fund a military. That's the number one thing that you fund first in a country.
The military?
Yes, number one thing.
Is that the number one thing?
When you're when you're thinking about establishing yourself as a world power or dominance or taking over a country, let's think about this. What's the first thing Saddam Hussein did when he took over Iraq? He went to Russia and was like, "Hey, dude, let me get some money. I'll give you oil." And they were like, "Cool. You like tanks? Check out these T-47s we got. Here you go. You like AK-47s? They work no matter what weather you're in. Don't worry, we got you." Then all of a sudden,
AK-47s are legit.
they are legit. They're the most legit gun in the history of the world.
Like I want to get one, but I'm like, then I'd have to get bullets.
I want to get one and bury it for 10 years and then pull it out and use it. And be like, check this out. It's been buried for 10 years. Still works.
in mud.
Yeah.
You just I even clean it. It's all rusty.
It's not guaranteed to fire straight, but it will fire.
It's like getting a high point. And it's
Especially, dude, back in the day when it was the 7.62, not the 5.56. Oh my God, that thing packed a punch back in the day.
7.62 by 39. Yeah, those.
It's a big boy.
Oh yeah, no, like I remember, like I used to work in sporting goods, so I'd have like wives come in and be like, "I need ammunition for my husband's gun," and I'm like, "All right, what bullets does he need?" She's like, "I have no idea." I'm like, "Well, what gun does he have?" "I have no idea."
Nope, better call him.
I'm like, well, number one, the second these bullets leave this counter, you cannot return them.
Yep.
So you might want to make sure that you can bring in one of his bullets and be like, "This is the bullet." And I'll be like, see here on the casing, it'll tell you.
Yep. No, I just don't think like.
What do you think? Because you didn't give your opinion.
On selling to other countries? I mean, honestly, if it is something that would be non-threatening,
Don't shoot me with my own gun.
yeah, don't give them like
Wow, I can't believe you just went there, dude.
Hey,
But-
Zombieland taught us 3 things: wear your seatbelt, double tap, don't get killed with your own gun.
I mean, yeah, you can, sell them things that are non-threatening. Like if we have a whole bunch of Chihuahuas, let them have the Chihuahuas, but don't give them the pit bulls. So don't give them, anything like, like B-52s or such, bombers. Don't give them anything that goes bang. But
It's not a bad policy. I mean, they're just going to go. The issue with not supplying them is they're going to go somewhere else.
yeah, and
other
then
country's gonna have it.
we can get the money from this country, pull money out of that, bring money back into
What
America.
happened with the Gulf War? Didn't we get in trouble for this beforehand? I'm pretty sure this was the thing, right?
I mean, I didn't pay attention. Like there was a Cuban Missile Crisis, and hiding under your desk, and I got scared.
No,
and
we were
I wasn't born, but
in the Gulf War. Well, we were supplying Saudi Arabia,
oh, what else is new?
and then Saddam Hussein came to power in Iraq, and invaded Saudi Arabia. Was that right?
Yes.
Invaded Saudi Arabia, pissed us off, and then we realized that Saddam Hussein was being funded or had been funded by the Russians, as one of the last things that they did before the collapse in the end of the Cold War.
It's always like fucking Russia, someplace in the Middle East and America, and then we got super mad at Japan for like, suiciding some planes in like Hawaii. And then and that's a place that we stole. We're like, how dare you hurt our stolen property? We're going to nuke you now.
And we pretty much took all over the land. We only paid for like 3 states ever.
The Louisiana
I'm not even lying about that. Like,
the Louisiana Purchase was
I'm glad the
dope, okay?
colonizer understands this, because we did just come over as Americans and be
punch
like,
Indians in the mouth.
this is
Native
our
Americans,
this
excuse
is
me.
our land.
You want some blankets? Here you go.
And then we're
Oh, wait, by
and
the way,
then-
here's malaria.
and then after that they're like, all right, now we believe in the Western. What was it called?
the Western frontier.
No, it's not the West. It was
Manifest Destiny.
There you go.
Yeah, Manifest,
That's
yeah.
exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So we bought Louisiana.
Through the Louisiana Purchase, and
We bought.
that was most of it.
Well, I think it went down that we liberated Texas. Is how that went down.
The Alamo.
I think we paid for.
We did liberate Texas.
Yeah,
You're being rescued. Do not resist.
Yeah, and then I think there was like Illinois and Indiana were paid as well, because we had to gain control of the Mississippi because for trade routes from the French. I forget how it went down. There's only a couple states that we ever paid money for. Not as many as you think. It's crazy.
Yeah. What? Why would us white people?
You know, the only known one though is Alaska, right? Like that. If anyone, you're like,
Well,
what
that,
state?
that or Louisiana Purchase. Everyone.
Yeah.
Those two states for sure. Well, Alaska was like, that was never not going to be ours because of the fact that it's so close to Russia. That went down, and they were like, cool, move troops up there. They were like, do you know how miserable it is in Alaska? They were like, we don't care, move troops up there.
I mean, Alaska's pretty awesome. I mean, the only bad part about Alaska is Sarah Palin.
That, and sometimes it's dark for a full day.
I mean, oh, that's great. You don't have to see Sarah Palin.
Wow.
She was almost our president at one point in time.
Yeah, her and Al Gore or whatever. I don't remember.
She makes a good porno.
Did she make porn?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not gonna beat off to it because I don't care.
One thing, never look up. Never look up
Two
porn
Girls,
stars.
One Cups.
No,
Yep.
that. Never look up porn stars that have committed suicide. Not a good idea.
Oh, it's the best jerk. It's like
No.
they didn't die in vain. I'm gonna jerk off to them.
Nah, it just creates a bad memory, so now I don't want to use them in my jerk off slinging sessions.
Well, don't like.
Is
Jerk
it weird that I don't know any of the actresses' names that I jerk off to on
That's
porn?
really good then.
Is it really?
Like, I don't jerk off to mainstream porn.
And I there was a girl on there that, occasionally makes her way through the videos, and she's probably never gonna make her way through the video ever again.
Wow. Oh.
Uh,
I mean, don't let her die in vain.
I mean, she will always be held in high esteem, but I probably just won't be. She'll probably be taken out of the spank bank.
I mean, like, if I see someone I know in like a porn, I'll be like, oh no, I have to turn this off.
I haven't run into that yet.
It's like Stoya, fuck, boring. Seen her naked before. It's like Sasha Grey, ugh, typical, mainstream, lame, boring. Next, I'm like, oh, I don't know you. This is a home video. Oh, cool. Oh, it's he already came. Okay, cool. 30 seconds, nice, in and out. I haven't even got my dick out yet. I know. I love Tron.
Y'all just like, I think I'm on your level, and I just like commented on this, and then you're like, nope, you aren't even in the door, bro.
Dude, like, all right, pulling it all back,
Pulling it back up. That's where you're going to say.
pulling it back, and pulling it forward,
Not even going to say pulling
Reeling
it
it
out
in.
right now.
Reeling it in.
reeling it in. Okay, with the advancements in virtual reality and augmented reality, should the military cut back spending on training soldiers by using these new technologies to teach them how to fly a helicopter? Because you can have goggles on and sit in an actual helicopter and learn everything you need to do without having to, spin up the blades and actually go out on a flight.
I know that they do use flight simulators for a lot of their like flying trainings. And stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to get your hours in, they do.
Yep.
But, in order to hey, here, we're going to put this in your gun and you're going to fire it and it's going to, be like laser tag, but you're going to have still the same, everything's going to be the same in your gun.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I mean, obviously we want the best training for our soldiers. You know, we want them to be the best they can be, and we want them to have the best military, you know, in the world. So if that's going to make our soldiers, if it's proven to make our soldiers better and stronger, faster at reacting and making sure that they're completing the missions the best of their ability and also being safe in those missions, then sure, why not?
I would say it'd take about 10,000 rounds to have someone to become fully 100% competent with their rifle. Yeah, I can put a round downrange and I will hit my target.
Sure.
And a bullet costing, you know,
We'll say 2 cents a pop.
oh, I wish.
Well, for the military, it probably is with how much they buy at once. They probably
Yeah.
pay about 2 cents per
That
round.
just the
You think about
thought.
You think so? I think
you-
I think
okay.
it's like 5 or 10.
Nah, if you think about how many, so they're still carrying M4s. And that's a 5.56.
Yeah.
They're probably paying about with how much 5.56 rounds they pay. We're talking billions of rounds.
Do you know how much I have to pay for them?
Yeah, like $60 for like 25 or something like that, right?
It's like $1 a round.
Yep, almost $1 a round. Yeah,
At this point, I mean, like
seriously though,
9 mil
if
went
you
up
think
to
about
that much.
if you think about how much they're buying in bulk at once, like they probably have companies that you've never even heard of that make bullets because they're just making them for the military because they don't need to make other military. They don't need other contracts.
You're so right on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like you probably never. There's this company like you'll drive down the road, like, oh, I wonder what they do, and then you look up on the internet and they're just a military contracted weapons maker, like ammunition maker, but yeah, probably I would say at the very most the military is playing at 5 cents a round because if you think about 5 cents times $1 billion, you're telling me we're gonna spend $5 billion, $5.5 billion on money, and like you can't. It's not that much. You know what I mean?
Well, at that point,
I know our military spending is what 900 trillion or something like that, some big amount. But I don't think we're spending. I think they would get a pretty cheap deal.
yeah, at 5 cents a round, that's fine, but
And ammunition can be repacked and reused.
only so much.
But stuff that's as long as the gunpowder is still good, they can pull out the actual bullet and reuse the gunpowder and melt down the casing and the bullet to reuse it. And they do that. That's a thing.
Well, yeah, you can go downrange, pull out all the lead, sift it all out, and then melt it down
Yep.
and do that. That's super easy.
Yeah, but I don't think they pay more than 5 cents a round. I think if they pay 5 cents a round, we're talking like the expensive rounds, like maybe like sniper rounds or like big 7.62 rounds, something like that. Like maybe they pay that much for it, but like
No way. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like
you have to think about how much they're buying at once. Think about it.
yeah,
So it's they're buying
like 50 BMG is like bang. That's $6 bare minimum.
yeah for a civilian. Not when you're thinking that the military. Think about when you outfit yourself as a soldier, you're not just grabbing like one time at the range ammunition. You're grabbing a mission's worth of ammunition. So there's probably on you at every time 500 rounds on you. You know what I mean?
Oh God, that's it.
I'm saying if you're gonna be in a quick infiltration or something like that.
I mean, I would hope you have more than 500.
But anyway, what I'm saying is like so now times that by how many people are in the military? We have what 2 million people in our military. Just I mean, you know, think about we had what, probably about 1 million foot soldiers. So 1 million foot soldiers outfitted with, like I said, 10,000 rounds. Well, they give their
Well, I mean that's
just their
to-
starting.
that's to from shot one
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm saying. So it's
be,
fully trained. So just that. So
that's $500.
we'll say 1 million soldiers, 1 million foot soldiers. Okay, has 10,000 rounds. So that's what 100 million. 1 billion, right?
It's a lot.
1 billion. Just to get them trained, there's no way they're paying over 5 cents a round for that. No way. They might even get it. They might even get it for under a cent per round on some of those 5.56, especially if
Dude,
it's training rounds and shit like that.
At that price, if they're doing it at that price, they should just turn around and sell it. Just
There's
to
probably
the.
laws stopping that. There's probably something in the way to stopping that. But they're not paying.
They're the government, and they have all the bullets. What are they gonna do?
What's that movie with Zach Galifianakis and the other guy?
I don't know who.
Zach.
Are you talking about War Dogs?
Yeah, War Dogs.
That's not Zach Galifianakis, but
or it's
it's Jonah Hill.
Jonah
but-
Hill. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Jonah Hill. But him and the other guy, like they underbid. They had what 56 million rounds, and there was only. What did they have? Their whole they had 56 million rounds plus everything else in their contract, and it only came out to like 256 million. 56 million rounds.
I have a calculator open right now. So how much was it? 56 million.
But
56.
there was other things in the contract.
Okay, but 56 million rounds. Okay.
Um,
And then how much was the contract? Like
250 million. They offered it out.
it's like 25 cents a round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. I'm telling you, they're not paying very much per round.
I mean, I don't expect him to be paying the full price like I am, but
No, but I'm telling you, they're paying pennies on a dollar. Like what you're paying $1 per round, I guarantee you they're paying very, very little because of how much they're buying. And then like even tank shells until they get into like
well, I mean,
rocket fueled ammunition, then we're talking that increases it by the thousands per round. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
But
mean when they shoot like rockets down like in Egypt, it's like
but even
that was
RPGs aren't that expensive. You can go to a gun range and shoot an RPG if you want at some ranges. Not in our country, but overseas you can. You know what I mean?
like yeah, I mean, you go shoot it at a cow. Like I'm gonna go shoot a cow in India. It's like all right, go for that, bud.
I think my friend was in Cambodia and he went to like this like adventure center, right? There was all these like hiking and like extravaganza events and stuff like that. Then over this one side was like a gun range, and there was this giant pool, and you could toss a grenade in the pool, and it just was like, and then you could shoot a RPG down range, and they would roll a car out. They would roll a car down a hill, and you could just try to hit this car as it rolled down the hill with an RPG.
How much was that?
He
You hear how excited he was?
well, he was like, I forget what he said, but he said he spent like $100 in the whole day, like $100 American, and he got to shoot like. Had to shoot a machine gun, like a fully automatic machine gun, like an MG42.
Yeah, we
like,
can go do that here for $100.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I said, my whole point of this is that the
Tron looked all excited. He's
Yeah.
like, machine
the
gun.
military is spending pennies on the dollar for their light ammunition, even machine gun ammunition, like their MG50s and stuff like
I
that.
don't think. At least it has to be $1 a round.
No, there's
Not
no way
even
they're
close.
playing $1 around.
I guarantee you would get laughed at if you went in there and be like, "Yo, I got this great ammunition dollar round." They'd be like, "Ha! So this guy over here selling pennies on the dollar, dog." I guarantee it, dude. I almost like. I don't know the numbers. but I'm like-
I would go find that other dude and be
Think
like,
about this.
yo, can I buy some ammunition from you, dog?
Well, think about this. So, like, think about how much Kevlar vest they have to buy. Every single soldier has a Kevlar vest.
I think they have to turn that in when they're done, though.
It doesn't matter. They still have to buy them for even if there's even well, I know you can buy surplus Kevlar from the military.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You can't buy
after.
plates that go in it though, but
You can buy plates.
Well, I thought you couldn't buy the military ones.
I mean, you can buy, like, the trauma plates
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to buy them. They're expensive as all living fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't expect to get myself into a firefight.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much for
I
me.
mean, I'm not going to go fight the military. Are you kidding me?
I hear you.
I mean, like, I won't even fight them fist to fist. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to get my ass whooped right bad right now. I'm going to throw one punch and I'm going to wake up in the hospital.
Here, let's see what a Google gets us real quick.
I mean, I love the fact that we live in an age where we can Google stuff on our phones. It's amazing. But on to our last few questions, because I only have a few more, and Tron has to get out of here soon. So should we reduce our military presence in countries that we're not at war with? Because we have FOBs all over the world and in countries that we really don't need to be in. Or should we double down and add more?
Okay, so currently with the higher cost of copper, it is costing the U.S. military 26 cents a round.
Good. Makes me feel good. Like
But
that.
the total cost of firing a round is around $3.50.
Why is
Because
it
it's
including
like
training, and
military
the
salary,
range? Okay.
all that. It's including everything about that soldier.
Okay.
They figure like they say like a soldier's a U.S. military baseline bottom line private in the military is worth like $75,000 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can have $1 million soldiers.
Like your kidnap value is insanity as a U.S. military soldier because you have so much different like because they put you through different types of
Oh, there's some people I
MMA
know. I'm
training,
like,
all the different shooting training, all the different codes you have to learn, all this stuff. Like even a basic soldier being taken, interrogated, and learning stuff from him could be like a seriously big gain for other militaries.
yeah, whatever. So back to the question, Tron. What do you think? Because your eyes lit up there for a second. Should we reduce the
Yeah.
pull out of countries that we have no business being in?
Absolutely.
We should pull out of all the countries, anyways.
Well, then we're gonna have a whole bunch of people over here.
I like having like bases where we trade in a sense where like if something would go down with like a trade embargo and we could protect our goods. Like if we're trading with the company or the country, I think we should have some sort of military base in that country, not necessarily active, full of something like that, but like in a sense where we're not only there to support and cover our asses in the trade, but we're there to support and cover our allies' asses as well. And I'm not saying that we can act freely because it's our land in their country. I'm not saying that kind of shit like an embassy, but I'm saying that there should be some sort of, if we're trading with that country, we should be able to have our military presence there because we are the biggest military in the world and we are the strongest military in the world. And having our military presence there is a sign of, hey, we're just here to do our good trading deeds. That's it. But countries we're warring in, countries where we think we're doing the right thing and helping them, we got to stop being the big stick. We got to let the UN handle all that. You know what I mean? That's why they're there. We got to get out of the countries that we're not doing good in. Like England, there should be no problem why shouldn't be any issue having a base in England. We've been trading partners since 1776. Then we have an issue back a couple 200 years ago. We squashed that, right? We're done. It's all good. Like France is a big trade partner of ours. We're not necessarily on the best of terms, but we should definitely have military there because French is both sides of France. They have water. It's the Mediterranean's a big, huge area. We should definitely be making sure that it's safe for all parties involved.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You sound like a colonizer, sir.
Obviously.
Again, what happened to American First? What happened to America being like a symbol of peace? What happened to
that's what I'm saying.
you can't be a symbol of peace if you're
if
you're
another
the bully that's throwing your dick around and be like, whoa, I'm the peace because I'm the biggest military.
That's not in that sense. It's just saying that if they're going to house our ships for trading, they should house our military ships as well.
I mean, like honestly, if like another country is gonna go attack a country that we're in, it's like, oh, you picked a fight with them? Well, you picked a fight with us.
Yes, that's what I mean too. It's more of
we're there to protect. We're there as a insurance policy. So if they get attacked, it's like, okay, time to whip out the big dick and slap them across the face and shoot them for $350 around. Bang, bang, bang. It's like, oh shit, we're out of money.
Like, do I think the U.S. boats and people should be boarding ships and running like security procedures? Absolutely not. That should be the countries, up to them to be doing it. And if they want our help or they want to learn from what we do, obviously we can help you. We can coach you and teach you and that kind of thing. But it's their waters. They should be patrolling them. It's their country. They should be policing it. We're just in it because we're protecting our best interest in your country.
No, man, that just sounds like your protecting interest is not.
Our protecting interest is America at all times.
What if they pay us for it, like with oil? That could be beneficial.
I feel like this happened back in the 90s. But no, I don't. Like I said, like England is a great place for a staging area for us moving and shipping goods into other parts of Europe, and then also a great place to send off if you're heading up north into Scandinavian area and stuff like that. So it's hard. It's like, and again, there are pirates, you know what I mean, in the world. Like that is a real thing right now.
Somali pirates, yeah.
Like even Central American pirates, like they'll literally board a produce ship and hold produce hostage and be like, pay us or all your produce goes bad. So
They're like,
figure it
look
out.
at me, I am your captain now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where like there are certain countries that don't have the funding to have a navy as big as ours or as strong as ours. So I think that goes a long way too, is that we do provide services for certain countries that they can't, defend the best interest in their country with.
No, man, you just saying like again protecting our interests and like whatnot.
But most of the time, our interests, make sure you heard the most of the time. Most of the time, the best interest for our country is what is the best interest with their country. Like to reference, South Africa has a horrible issue with pirates off their coast and having issues with warlords in and out in the more dangerous places in Africa. And our Navy being down there provides safety and the ability for trading goods to be traded at a higher rate of success without having issues with these pirates. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And we're not interfering in their country. We're not interfering in anything other than that. We're just keeping the trades goods from the whole world safe.
Yeah, we're the world's babysitters. We're not going to stop the kids from playing. They can still play, but we're there
We're gonna
to
put the bad ones in timeout.
Yeah, we're there with a ruler, and if you misbehave, you're going to get smacked with the power of America. America, fuck yeah.
Again, no, you're just putting like America's. Okay, so in a.
This boy needs to watch America World Police.
I don't know how.
America, fuck yeah.
Why do we have to defend other countries and do other things?
Because of
Why
the bald
can't-
eagle and the American flag.
So we're not.
But the bald eagle and the American flag is for America's freedom, not like.
So let me ask you this: so if we're not defending that country, and say you want to buy the next Funko Pop that comes over from China or Japan or whatever, okay, and it happens to get hijacked by pirates in a lane that we decided to pull our troops from, okay,
we just make
and
fun of them.
that Funko Pop now goes from $14 to $15 to $110 on face shelf value. This is not even when collectors can get it, because they've now, not only is their stuff delayed, but they decided to cut half of what's coming to our country and take the rest of themselves. So now you either buy it off the black market or you pay face value because it's now gone up because they've taken half the goods that are supposed to get this country. Damn you, colonizer.
No, it's not even.
We're just there to.
Well, think about this. Think about not being able to go to the grocery store and buy an avocado because the avocado ship that was coming to this country got hijacked.
I don't
And
think he's ever bought an avocado.
I have 2 upstairs. I'm waiting to finish.
I was going to say, I know trying to eat
He's
avocados.
waiting to finish. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just her California roots showing. Don't ever say that again.
Think about it this way. Say you want to go on a cruise down to the Central America, and because our military is not in the waters in Central America anymore, it becomes unsafe.
I
And
think
your
there's
cruise lines
actu-
now becomes you pirated, and now there's pirates running your cruise ship, and now you're a hostage.
I think there's actually a cruise like that where they purposely like run it and then they like kill the pirates, but it's like, oh look, a little bit of danger. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's an actual thing. If not, it should be. Like, you just have like a nice cruise ship just sailing through, and the pirate's like, oh yeah, easy payday. Like, brrr, and like, you can pay a little bit more and you can shoot at the pirates too.
It's awesome.
Fuck.
Well, imagine being this. Imagine being overseas in a country and you happen to lose your passport, and you have 2 options. You either go to an embassy hours away, or you walk into an American military base right down the street.
Or you call Liam Neeson
Seems
and
pretty,
he comes and saves your ass.
seems pretty safe to me.
Or you become like a spy. How cool would that be?
Shouldn't it be safe if there are allied countries to be able to go to?
Let's be real here. Americans overseas is not safe, okay? Let's be completely honest. Depending on where you're at and what country, us Americans have not been liked since about 2016.
That's true.
I mean, I'm liked, but that's because I'm brown.
Yeah, I was saying, you guys are fine.
White Americans are not liked over there.
No.
And it's hilarious because I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do I think they should be protecting the country? No. But if it's trade, and if it's global trade, I'm totally about making sure global trade continues. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
and yes, in a sense, I'm obviously protecting America's best interest, because it's our money involved. But at the same time, like I'm not necessarily even saying we have to kill the pirates. I'm just saying, we're there.
Kill the pirates. What are you
Enforcing the
doing?
ships. You know what I mean? And because the country can't provide that service, kind of thing.
What do you
Hey,
want to
man,
do? Call the
we
ships
got extra
Peter
ships.
Pan?
We can totally patrol these waters for you. We'll be cool. We're not going to invade your country. We don't want anything going on. We think you guys are doing great, but we've heard some issues with your trade, and we've had some issues ourselves. So we just want to make sure everything goes good from our countries. And France does too. So does Germany. So does England. But they're too busy over here with the Ivory Coast. So we're going to protect the bottom part of Africa for you. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. And I completely understand it's the country's affairs. They should be doing it themselves. We don't need to be putting our noses in things that we don't need to put our noses in. But at the same time, imagine being in the shipping business, and you're in an American shipping business, and you're telling me the American military can't protect you in foreign waters. It feels kind of shitty, you know? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because like you're again making sure America is first, which is okay and all, but like
I just don't see, my personal opinion, how we're affecting the other country other than being successful with our trade. Like we're doing is we're going to port and getting some gas from them, resupplying, and we're back out to the ocean defending the seas. So the trade and everything else in the world goes on like
Honestly.
clockwork. You know?
And on top of it, it gives you a reason to join the military. You can go to the world.
Travel to see this. That's what is that how they sell you in the Navy? Come to the Navy.
Isn't that
see
why
the
you were
world?
born in Germany?
I was born in Germany because both of my parents were in the military and they decided to fuck.
See?
I wasn't born because of anything else.
Well, but they were in the military,
Stationed in Germany.
stationed in Germany. And yeah, so cool.
Ron, you could literally go be president of Germany right now if you wanted to.
I cannot.
Yeah, you can.
You have dual citizenship.
I'm brown.
Well,
I like how you stutter.
I was gonna say Germany is actually on the forefront of accepting people. They're actually really good about. They're actually one of the least racist countries over there.
One of the least racist at the moment.
Well, I mean, they're forced to be. I mean, like,
Yeah,
they're
they can't have a rise above race anymore, dude. They've literally tried to kill the Jews.
like they are really ashamed of that. Like, anytime you talk to like a German person, they're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, can we not talk about World War II?
Yeah, it's like anything else, anything. I will show you my pussy, please. But on to the final question, because you're never gonna convince Tron.
No, you're not. Not like America should pull back.
I mean,
We should pull back our bases. We
double
should pull
down,
back.
double down, go all the way. But
I agree with you on that point. Like, I do think we should get out of countries that we've caused conflict. I think we should there's no reason why we should still be in Afghanistan and Iraq. That should have been ended 10 years ago.
yeah, that should have been like.
We should have been 2015 should have been the last time we should have been heard about that stuff.
I mean, like last time there was an attack, quote unquote, on American soil was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, a quote unquote foreign attack.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of attacks
Yeah.
here.
But I still think that we needed based just purely on trade. I still think that we need to be assertive in certain senses, that we need to protect that sense because we can and other countries can't. We just have the ability to, because we spend $900 billion a year in our military.
Yeah.
So
So
we have the ability to defend and have our reach in these the places where other countries can't. So why not provide safety for
to quote a movie, with great power comes great responsibility.
It's true.
Uncle Ben from The Rice. Yeah, Spider-Man.
What was the last question?
It's running along, but should we refuse to allow citizens to become police officers and only allow military to become police officers?
I don't think military should be police officers at all.
Why not?
I agree with Derek.
Because I think there's a different mindset that comes involved. Is military, you're trained to deal with insurgents and people that are coming to harm you or kill you, where the police need to have a more central minded thing where these are just civilians that have had either a bad thing happen to them, or they think something bad has happened and they need a human being of sorts, different human being of sorts, to deal with that kind of.
I mean, on my end, like I feel like the military has rules of engagement.
Yeah,
they
but
can't just.
But you get trained. You're trained to be a killer.
Yeah, but so are these
That's
cops.
what I'm saying. That's where it needs to be.
They have black targets and they're like bang bang bang, and they see someone like Tron and like oh, the target bang bang bang.
Wow.
You know, they're like Schrodinger's dog, and they see like a black man like just like reaching for their gun.
I don't think the military should unless you have a background in MP, military police. You shouldn't even be a candidate.
I mean, honestly, I'm completely opposite with you, and I feel like the military are just a whole lot better at dealing with high stress situations.
I definitely agree with you there.
And to where someone can get pulled over by the cops and not get shot for grabbing their wallet a little too quick. They're like a fucking rescue dog, but like these people from the military are like, oh, okay, cool. So I feel like they should be the ones to be in the police and stop, these kids are like, I got bullied in high school because I pooped my pants once and I came in my pants twice. So, I mean, that's small bullshit, but now I want to be a police officer. And then they can just get away with shit like beating their wives all the time.
I mean, no one should get away with that.
No, absolutely not. I'm not.
I just think that once you're trained to be a killer, it's very hard to turn off that training. And I think that
it's
military training and police training are different things, because police, they have to have a little bit of empathy. They have to be able to see both sides of the story and see both sides of the situation from what's going on with both parts of the scenario, where the military only has to see one side. We're attacking or we're defending, and that other person on the other side with the gun is here to kill you.
Yeah, and then if someone shows up with an actual gun, like anytime I see a video where someone pulls out a gun on an officer and the officer like retaliates and guns them down, I'm like, good job, officer.
Oh, you did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's your life or his, and he's trying to kill you.
Just like when I referenced a few weeks ago when I talked about the military training where they did the hand thing, and they handed it back to him. Like, that's why you don't hire military into your police force, right then and there. Those guys are and I don't know.
They just have more discipline. I can see that I'm never gonna convince you on this point.
Okay, hold on, wait.
I didn't hear from Tron yet.
I have this to say. I think that with military and police, I think it depends on what you're trained as. Because like MP, you would be a great police officer. Weekend warrior, I think you could be a police officer. But if you've like seen combat and whatnot, I think then it's a little harder.
Yeah, I just think and I don't want to. I hate to say the word killer, but I think you're just now trained to kill.
I mean, like certain branch, like like the Air Force, you're not trained to kill.
I mean, you go through
Navy,
a lot of training. You go through a ton.
You do, but like Marines, they're like, okay, you go kill 10 people and we'll give you a red crayon. He's like, oh yeah, bang 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 bang. I killed 20 people, 2 red crayons. Yeah.
I mean, I hear you. I just think that. I also think that there's an issue with our police training as of right now. I think it should.
Yeah, I mean, it should all get changed.
Shouldn't be able to become a police officer in like 90 days. That's not a thing. It should take at least. I know it doesn't. It takes like a year, but still, I think like if you're going to become a police officer, like it should take almost as much as getting a community college associate's degree. It should literally be a form of higher education in that sense. You know what I mean? Especially because, like,
I mean, I feel like they should get rid of bad police officers if you have like a chest camera of you beating someone because they missed the trash can, they are bending down to pick it up, and you're like, let her, and you beat the shit out of them. I mean, I don't think that's ever happened, but you never know. There's definitely been times where like police have arrested people over stupid shit. Like there's in Kansas or Arkansas, like a dude talked too long in like a public meeting, talked like 30 seconds over his time, and the police arrested him.
Yep.
Yeah, that was them talking about anti-trans bill.
Yep. Tron knows. But yeah, the racist people will talk for a fucking ever. But you know,
40 minutes they
Yep.
had.
So, I mean, you know, I say, you know, give the military a chance. I mean, who knows? You know, we don't make the rules.
Thanks for your service. Have a great life.
Yeah. Yeah. Do whatever you want. I'm not saying force the military to become police, but you know, if they want to, they should have.
Sure.
They do
So
actually.
that's the beauty of America. You can do whatever you want in this country.
And you do actually have a better chance of becoming a cop if you have prior military service.
Sure.
So I know this because I went to the military or to the police orientation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So thank you for your service, military members.
Thank you for your service, guys.
Unless you got dishonorably discharged, then you fucked up real bad.
That's worse than a felony in this country.
You have to fuck up so goddamn bad to get a dishonorable discharge.
Yep.
So, but yeah, most of the people I know, like I have a brother-in-law that's like in the army, and I'm actually going to see him at the end of this month.
Nice.
Meet him for the first time. He lived in this town forever, and I'm just like, I'm not going to go meet him. I'm going to meet him for the first time. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
It's awesome.
So, thank you all for listening. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, Alex the Truck. We got the Bearded Yeti, Derek,
Yep. On Twitter.
and we got Tronny Wani,
Woo!
who needs to go see his mommy now.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Tron, for staying in. Thank you, Derek, for being here. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.